Okay, hi there, Jeff here. Welcome to a short video looking at the concept of business revenue. Now, what do we mean by revenue? Well, it's a term that's best defined as the money or the income, if you like, flowing into a business from selling goods and services to customers in one or more different markets. And revenue is also known as turnover. Here's a quick exercise. Have a go at this if you want. Press the pause button. Can you roughly guess what revenues these businesses make per minute of the day? Now I have, just to give you a little hint, I have listed them in descending order. So Amazon's revenues are far higher than Netflix's. Have a quick guess. Write down what you think, let's say, I don't know, let's go for Tesla. What do you think their revenue is per minute? Let's see if you can get close. Well, what do you get? Netflix, revenue of just over $1,000 a second. Tesla, $130,000 per minute. Facebook takes it up to $222,000. Microsoft, $400,000. Wow. Google, $537,000. Apple takes us up to $640,000 per minute. Amazon's the highest, $935,000 per minute of revenue, according to the latest published figures. Now, these are clearly big, scaled businesses, global brands. They have huge revenues by the minute, by the hour, by the day. Amazon, of course, generates revenue in all kinds of different ways. The huge e-retail network selling electronics and every other product under the sun. And of course, they have lots of third-party seller revenues. So, and also huge things like subscription services, Amazon Prime, along with Amazon Web Service, cloud services and things. So Amazon has a huge revenue stream. And notice here, what I've done is I've just plotted their quarterly revenue from 2007 to 2022, the latest figures I could find. Obviously, there's a long-term surge, climb in their revenues. But can you also notice here the high degree of seasonality in the revenue data for Amazon? And I just wonder whether you can think of reasons why that revenue is so seasonal. Apple came second in our little list, didn't it? And here's their global revenue, all the way back to 2004. Revenues have more than doubled since 2012. 2021 looked like an amazing year from a revenue perspective for Apple after a number of years where revenues were a little higher, but not massively. And of course, they made revenues of $1 billion a day in 2021. That's not profit, that's revenue of $1 billion a day. A little closer to home, here's a quick question for you. Which is the UK's biggest supermarket by revenue? Press the pause button, have a go. What do you think? Which is Britain's biggest supermarket? And the answer is, if we look at revenue only, the answer is Tesco. Tesco leads the way. There's their group revenue. I've just put in those different shading bits there. 2020, 2021, of course, Tesco affected by the pandemic. Lots of supermarkets mainly kept open, but some stores closed or had to. Their trading was certainly affected by the pandemic. Sales picking up quite nicely in 2022. Another question for you. Which is the UK's leading energy drink brand by revenue? I'm using the data here just from convenience stores. Think about your local convenience store, not the big supermarkets, but if you just take convenience stores, what's the UK's leading energy drink brand? What do we think? The answer is Red Bull. The ubiquitous Red Bull, also quite expensive. There's the data for the UK in 2021. Again, revenue. This is sales revenue for business, millions of pounds. Red Bull, quite a long way ahead of Monster. Lucozade came third, and Euroshopper, that discount brand, the 59p tin of whatever, 50 million revenue. Wow. Boost, Rockstar, Emerge, and others. So we've looked at businesses where revenues have been pretty strong and rising. Of course, revenues don't automatically increase. Just wanted to give you a couple of examples. Let's look at cinemas. Cineworld, a US business in serious financial difficulty at the moment. This is the cinema box office revenue in the UK, this is for all cinemas. And look what happened. Collapse, of course, during 2020 when most cinemas were closed for lengthy periods of time. Picked up again in 2021, but revenue box office revenue only half or less than half in 2021 as to what it was in 2019. Of course, this has created lots of financial difficulties for cinemas, maybe in your area too. And let's think about the airports. How were the revenues of the airports affected by the pandemic? Well, a good example is Heathrow. Look at that data. Revenue was climbing, up towards £3.5 billion of annual revenue, but then suddenly off the cliff, revenue falls by about 2/3. Dramatic fall in their revenues. The main sources of revenue for Heathrow is, well, you can think of some. Obviously, it's landing and takeoff fees, that kind of stuff. This is the retail revenue, things like concessions, retail shops, car parking, catering. And you can see, if you look at the orange line, look what happened in 2020 compared to 2019. Huge drop there. Airports suffering a lot. I did say at the start that businesses' revenue is not the same as profit. And indeed, this is true. So I'll just finish off by showing you Lego. Follow the red bit there. That's the revenue of Lego, brick by brick, up to $8.4 billion of revenue in 2021. Well, good effort. Their profits have gone up as well. So they made a $2 billion profit on $8.4 billion of revenue. Of course, the difference between revenue and profit is the operating costs of a business. But it is worth reminding that revenue is not the same as profit. There we go. Here's our first video into the economics of business revenues.